Hello, welcome to the first vlog. I did do a bit of an intro at home where I made up my first meal and talked for a bit, but I watched that back and to be honest, that was pretty fucking boring. So, first video. Now we are officially week 6 into our growth phase with the coach and things are moving incredibly well. You'll see here on the screen somewhere that's the current look. We're holding a really good amount of leanness and we've only really pushed into a surplus of calories over the past week to 2 weeks, I'd say. The other 4 or 5 weeks that were strictly reversing, I did have quite a lean standpoint and I did want to nail that because in the past, I've gotten incredibly lean before and I haven't nailed the reverse phase and then pretty much I got fat. So had to recut, get to a very lean standpoint. Now growth phase is in full effect and the reverse is nailed. Like I said, holding a really lean standpoint. Coach is happy with the way things are looking. And now we're starting to push a lot of food. Well, not a lot yet. We're at like 3,300 calories on a training day, and rest days we're sitting at about 2,800 calories or so. So food's not super high yet, but I am enjoying it. Lots of potatoes and rice and carbs, past family, so I cut that off. First meal was 70 grams of oats, 50 grams of raspberries, 10 grams dark chocolate, and 60 grams of whey. So pretty heavy first meal, keeps me full for a little while. Especially on a rest days, I do find that I am quite hungry because it is less food, but would much rather have the use of more food, more carbs on a training day to fuel performance and recovery. Now things are moving incredibly well in this growth phase. Strength is absolutely going through the roof. I'm pretty much PRing on every exercise, every session. Definitely already seeing size being added and we are in a leg focus block. So leg frequency is twice a week and they're 2 full leg days. So on both, they are quads, hemis, glutes, calves, and am definitely seeing size being added to the legs on a weekly basis, which is pretty cool. So, like I said, food's starting to be pushed. I think we pushed up to what we're at now about 2 weeks ago and been having about 1 free meal a week, which is sick, especially coming out of a deficit. You don't really have room to move with food and you really want to stick to the plan when you're in a deficit so you don't prolong the results that you're trying to get. I can have a free meal a week now, so last week went out with a mate and had burger and chips, so that was fucking good. But plan for today, just a rest day, so no training of course. I still do head into the gym and I do have 30 minutes of stairs to do and a bunch of core work, so planking, leg raises. I've got crunches and cable crunches, so kind of like an ab circuit, and then 30 minutes of stairs that I will do in about 2 hours after I eat my second meal, which I will show you guys. I'm going to run you guys through everything that I do eat today, and I suppose we'll just have a chat with each meal. I'll talk about a topic, something I noticed within myself with training, other people, clients, whatever. Not much client work to do today. Just get back to a couple messages, but all check-ins were done yesterday, which is Saturday. So fairly light day with work today, but welcome to the first video and join me for this rest day. Video protocol that we're running with at the moment. It did start as 20 minutes of Stairmaster every training day and then half an hour Stairmaster on rest days plus 12,000 steps. So the 12k steps aren't included. So I'd be sitting at about 14,000 steps average per day. But as of last week, we dropped that to Stairmaster 5 times per week. And we just took those out of the leg day because fuck me, these leg days are cooked. And I guess if you don't feel like vomiting and passing out and seeing stars. You're not training legs, are you? So we remove stairs off the leg day because I feel like I have absolutely no soul and zero energy whatsoever after legs. So no stairs on leg day now, just the 12,000 steps. Now, the thing I want to talk about is getting outside and actually doing your steps in the sun. I see Kuba, Silene talk about this all the time, and we had a similar structure too with getting outside and getting steps. I hope this wind isn't fucking me over. Back to some of that footage, and the wind did sound like it was fucking me over. So I've put the mic on the inside of my shirt, so now hopefully this is okay. Now, me and Kuba have a similar routine with having structured days, but also making sure that we do get outside, get into some sun and into some nature. It is a pretty important thing to actually get outside, get sun, get into nature, listen to the birds chirp, whatever that is, instead of just staying at home doing your steps there and doing your steps in the gym. Very good for a clear mind, walking without the phone, without music, kind of being calm, being collected, thinking about the day, thinking about what work needs to be done and the game plan to not only help us move forward, but to help clients move forward as well. So currently, if you're not getting outside to get sun, to get out in nature, to collect your thoughts, relax, it's very good to do that. Very good for your brain, very good for mental health, your calmness. Just to kind of, the big thing I notice with me is I just use it to think. I usually go on at least one walk a day alone to do that as such, to collect thoughts, to chill out, look around, work out a game plan. Then I'll go on a few other walks with mates where we do either just talk, but mainly about personal growth, development, where we want to be, setting goals for a couple months away in either, for me, moving away, trying to grow coaching business. So setting goals for that as well. And really talking about personal growth, which is a fucking W if you don't have friends that you're surrounded with that are always talking about how to either improve your life, improve someone else's life, really change things to level up, personal growth, make more money, whatever that is. You need to find new friends because the push you will get in improving your life from having friends like that is next to none. One of the biggest things that I've noticed being a coach as well is not many people have the knowledge of the importance of actually hitting your step count on a day-to-day basis. Now, I've talked about this before on my Instagram, but even I used to be like this as well. I used to think, and so does everyone else, we just think, what are steps going to actually do for us? You're just walking. It's not strenuous. There's no way it's going to help with anything. It just seems like a big waste of time. Now, when you learn, steps are such a great tool, not only if you're cutting, also if you are pushing food and looking to grow muscle as well. They are an amazing tool and they really do need to be utilized. Now, if you are in a deficit phase, you're trying to lose weight, steps are going to push you further into a deficit, which is great. That's what we want. But also, steps are very low effort activity. Now, when you have really low food, you're pushing hard into a deficit, losing the fat. You really want to be keeping stress off the body. You don't want to be going for runs. You don't want to be doing all these super strenuous things because recovery is going to go down. You're going to feel like shit. You're not going to have energy to go on runs anyway. And we want to keep recovery as high as it can be. And that is why steps are called NEAT, which is non-exercise activity. So having a step count and following that step count consistently will not only push you further into a deficit, but it's not going to stress your body out. It's not going to jack your cortisol up. It's not this super hard activity to do. It's very simple. It's very light. Now, if we are pushing food in a growth phase like me currently, my steps are still 12,000 steps per day, not including cardio. And you might be thinking, why are we doing 12,000 steps when we're pushing food? Now, the reason for that is still, I'm fairly early on to the deficit, but having steps are really good because, especially if you walk after eating meals, it is really good for your insulin sensitivity and you will process carbs better. You will digest food much better. It keeps you quite hungrier as well because you are moving, so you are excreting more energy. So when you do get to that point where you are pushing lots and lots and lots of food, steps are going to keep you hungry, but they're also going to help you digest your food. If you've been in a growth phase before, you know that pushing food is a fucking job. And if you aren't digesting your food properly, what's the point of even pushing all of that food? You're not going to be using it. Your body's not going to be using that to the absolute maximum that it could be. So steps are very crucial. Flies here in Australia are so annoying at the moment. Steps are very crucial. You need to be super consistent with your steps, with your step count, and you do need to be hitting them every single day because they do have so many benefits and will help you out a lot no matter what phase you are in. Walk is wrapped up. Just went to Woolworths, just got a couple groceries for the end of the week, like today's Sunday. So I am gonna prep my second meal, which I got to check on the phone the exact grams. It's about 300 grams of potato. I'm gonna cut 300 grams of potato, and then I'm gonna quickly check the sheets because I do not want to fuck up how much food I'm eating. Just checked, I actually get 350 grams of potatoes, so more than I thought. So I'll fucking take that any day of the week. So while I cut my potatoes up, I just want to explain why my rest day food is a bit different now. I explained just before, sometimes you do want more food on training days just so fuel around training is higher and therefore you will get better results. Now that's not applicable to everyone, but for me at the moment that is. So training day fuel is higher. Now protein amounts on both days stay the same. Currently we're at 280 grams of protein per day. So rest day and training days protein is always going to be at that 280 mark. The only thing that differs is carb amounts and fat amounts. And on a training day I have less fats. Now the reason for that being is fats pretty heavily slow digestion. So even in a pre-workout and post-workout meal, you want under 10 grams of fat. 10 grams, 10 to 15 pre-workout is around a sweet spot because yes, 15 grams of fat will slow the absorption down, but if you do wait an hour till you train, all the food is going to be in the system, so you will be fine. And then post-workout, ideally you want under 10 grams of fat so your body does absorb it as quick as possible for muscle recovery and growth reasons. If you were to have like a massive cheat meal post-workout, it's going to take a long time for your body to digest that cheat meal, and you're not going to uptake it as quickly as you would with just standard chicken and rice. My post-workout meals are always chicken, and my pre-workout meal is oats because I eat in the morning. But post-workout, always chicken because it's very, very low in fat. I'm trying to unbox this. I picked up this thing from Kmart. It's like a potato chip slicer. Shout out to George Metamorph. Bro put me on, but I actually have no fucking idea how to use it. So I'm gonna have to figure this out off camera. It looks so easy to use, but the camera. Yeah, check that shit out. Fuck. Alright, so potato. Do not want to slice my fingers off just yet. Second meal, it's going to be like 225 extra lean beef mince. I go through a full pack of extra lean beef mince on rest days. We do have more red meat than chicken. On a training day, I have more chicken than red meat. So it also keeps it pretty fresh as well. I always put these into the air fryer. I don't do oil or anything. I just, now this is the scary part. In this meal, I don't have oil, but on my other meals, especially on a training day closer to the afternoon, I do have 5 to 10 grams of oil depending on the meal. That just makes them that tiny bit crispier and tastier. Mince, and it's like a healthy, if you're watching in Australia, you know what a HSP is. It's like a healthy HSP snack pack. If you're watching from the States, because I know lots of you guys that follow me on YouTube are from America, a snack pack is kind of like, I don't even know if you have kebab shops over there, but it's fries or hot chips on the bottom with cheese. I don't get cheese, but with cheese, and then it's got like kebab meat, so chicken or beef on top with sauce. This is like potatoes, mince, salad with sauce, and it's fucking good, and I get to have it like 3 times a day. So not complaining. Grocery haul, Pepsi Max, the GOAT, especially vanilla. That is like the best flavor, Pepsi Max. Almond milk, because it's like 0 calories, and that goes in my Ninja Creamy. More potatoes, 2 packs of mince, 2 Celsius, because there's definitely not just caffeine in that. There's some sort of like crack in these, because they feel pretty different to a Monster. If someone knows why that doesn't just hit you like a Monster, and I've seen a few people say that Celsius's are like crack, don't know, but while they're on the shelves, I'll be buying them because I don't mind that extra little feeling I get. And blueberries and raspberries, standard haul. Definitely not all my groceries for the week, but this will get me through a couple days. I'll see you when the meal is cooked. All right, meal is done. Sitting at the desk. It's what I normally do. Now, usually I don't vlog. Shout out Frozen Coke. Usually I don't vlog while I eat because this is the first episode, but usually I just watch YouTube, watch a podcast, watch one of the boys on the screen. But I guess I'll talk about my training at the moment. Now, Jack's got me on a upper lower rest, push-pull legs split. Very decent split, very decent amount of volume compared to what I'm normally used to. And the sessions do take me fucking forever to finish. Not forever, like a leg day will be close to 2 hours, but that's because I really want to keep quality of the session up there. I do not want to rush the sets and then not be lifting what I could normally lift. I have the time to be able to take longer rest times to then push harder. So of course the sessions are going to take me longer. But very different style of training compared to what I'm used to. This focus on this block is just to get really fucking strong. So it is that trained by JP style training where it is 1 top set, 1 back off set. So of course you do your warm-ups, especially at the start of the session, but on a back day, for example, halfway through the workout, you don't even have to do any warm-up sets because your back is just so full of blood and ready to go. And it's just 1 top set where you are really going balls to the fucking wall, and then a back off set where it's just higher reps with a bit more of a lighter weight, and you still want to run to failure. But the changes I'm noticing on this block are crazy. Only about 6 weeks in, and like I said, we're only a few weeks into the surplus now. And the strength gains, I have never experienced more strength gains than training in this style. I'd say I've never been 100% on tracking lifts to the T, but now since jumping on with Jack, very, very meticulous about that. And I got an app called SetGraph, and I'm really tracking all the data on lifts and really making sure that I'm either improving form, tempo, weight, or reps every single session, and every session constantly improving. So if you are training at the moment and you're not tracking your lifts, you really should start, because the amount of progress that you will make when you are meticulous on the data and the numbers and knowing how many reps or what weight you need to beat, or if you video your sets like I do and you can improve form, you can slow down tempo, you can work on, your pauses and the range of motion, the amount of progress, the amount of muscle gain that you will get will be next to none. It's about 6 p.m. now. Cardio is done. Core work is done. Being real, that fucking sucked. And that was probably the first time where I didn't want to stay there and finish the stairs. I didn't want to stay there and finish core. I've been enjoying it the past 6 weeks, but I'm usually in a routine where it's the first thing I do in the morning. And that is what helps me out a lot, because I kind of roll out of bed, have some caffeine, and either go for a walk and then go do cardio and abs still in the morning. But today, obviously with vlogging and a few other things that popped up, I pushed it back to 6 p.m. So obviously you're more tired at 6 p.m. than you are first thing in the morning after a bit of caffeine. So still got done, still finished, did the cardio, did the core, feel good that I did do it. But when you get to times like that and you don't feel like doing shit, you really just got to fucking do it. And that's what I preach to my clients, and then I hold myself to that standard as well. You know, life's not perfect. You don't always want to train, you don't always want to eat on plan, you don't always want to do cardio, but they're the things that you just got to stick to, and you just got to do it. You feel so much better once you get the work done and you do stick to the plan. And something else I say to all my clients, and that I notice within myself as well, I love getting to the end of the day and it is 8-9 o'clock, I'm laying in bed and I know I have ticked every single box that I could have ticked. There's no better feeling than that. A bad feeling that is much worse than that is laying in bed and you have the thoughts in your head knowing, I didn't eat right today, I didn't do my steps, I didn't do my cardio, and that is just setting you back so many steps off the goal and hindering with the routine and consistency that does build the results. The more consistent you are with something is not only the more results you're going to get, but also the easier it's going to get. If you continually yo-yo on things and one week you're really good and the next week you're off, after you have that off week, it's going to be hard to get back into it. But if you stick to it day in, day out, and you constantly tick the boxes, they get easier. The results you get come through obviously much quicker, and then you thrive off the results you get and the changes that you're seeing and the progress you're making. That makes you want to keep going. But the biggest thing is you just got to stick to the fucking plan. No matter how hard it gets, no matter what gets in the way, you got to tick all the boxes that you possibly can. And that'll be like the best decision that you make. All right, meal 3, we are rocking with about 200 grams of Greek yogurt, some blueberries, raspberries, 30 grams of whey. It's about 7:30 now. I just want to talk about, I was just on the phone call for about 45 minutes with this gentleman who is overweight. He wants change, he wants to look good, he wants to feel confident, he wants to improve his life, right? And we talked about coaching and he's keen, he wants to get results. He's been trying it on his own for a couple years, and really the results he's made have been next to none. Like 5 kilos in 6 months. You can lose 5 kilos in a month. So we chatted, he was keen, he knows that jumping on coaching would improve his life. He knows he would get results, he admitted to that. He said it would improve his confidence, it would improve everything in his life. He said that. Now, he still didn't sign up to coaching. He can afford it. He spends more money on junk food a week than what coaching costs per week. So he can afford it. That's not an objection. And every objection that he threw my way, I handled it and I explained it, and he agreed with everything I said. He's like, yep, that's right, I get it. Knows he would get results, he can afford it, there was no objection. And yet he still didn't sign up to coaching. Now, what that is people who they're scared of change. And I said that to him on the phone. I said, it's normal. I'm on the phone with so many guys a week who are scared of change. I talk to people in the DMs about it all the time. They're scared to really make a change and get results. And it's normal.
I was there before. But some people don't want to be helped. And there's so many people on this earth who are fat and they say that they want to get results. They say they want to lose weight. They say they're going to do all these things, but they never do it. And matter of the fact is, you simply just can't help people who don't want to be helped. I'm going to eat this, as my coach calls it, bikini girl yogurt, because he's over in the UK. Got my bikini girl yogurt as my 5th meal. So I'm gonna eat this, chill out for a bit, and I'll be back with my last meal. Last meal of the day, Ninja Creamy. Always, I am fucking rooted. Lots of behind the scenes fucking computer shit today. So tired. It's 8:50. Better go to bed. Smash that creamy because they are the best, and I never want those out of plan. They will eventually. I'll have to say goodbye to those probably soon, because with the way things going, food is just going to keep being pushed. So I got to make the most of them while I can. But I don't know when I'm going to do another one of these. So let me know. Drop a comment if you enjoyed this, or even if you made it this far. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't. That is in the bio of the video. And I will see you very soon. Peace.